So here we are. Once again, we have pile number 1, bloodstone. Pile number 2, ember. Pile number 3, blue calcite. If you don't know how to pick a pile, I thought maybe today we could do a quick thing that you can easily do each time. Just tap on your karate chop point, and then in the same way you go around and tap around the other points. Now I could put myself in the middle or up there and somewhere and show you as I tap along. There. I'm making faces. I just need to put it somewhere else. Oh, look at that. We need to bring it up. I guess I should put the videos up top. There. So you can see me. So you just tap on your karate chop point and you can tap comfortably, in the back there. And so you lower wherever you feel comfortable. And you just say, I'm grounding myself, and I will pick the pile that is correct for me, for the messages that I require right now. And as you're doing this, you're grounding yourself. That's why I pick this is the main point. If you have to learn one thing today, learn to tap on this point each time you feel out of sorts, or each time you can't focus, each time you need a push in the positive direction. This will help you go there. And then you just calmly look at the piles, start breathing through your heart center. So feel like literally coming through your physical heart and your heart center. So you go in heart coherence while you're grounding. You calm your breathing down, and then you will feel this energy telling you, oh, it's this pile, that pile, that pile. It will not be a mental choice. It will be a truly from your higher self, from your whole. That's the whole point, is that whatever you pick, though, is gonna work, because in reality, nothing happens by chance. So with that knowledge, why worry? It's not that it's already all decided. It's just we clearly all have a set amount of choices. Maybe it's infinite, and maybe each little detail, that's what I say, the devil is in the detail. Each little detail can be. So if you tap, what you're doing is bringing yourself to center and grounding yourself. When you ground yourself, it's the equivalent of having a good poop, energetically speaking, because you're literally letting go of the old crap and allowing the flow to go back to what's supposed to be. So your body feels better as well, obviously, right? Because we always get sick first in our energy bodies. So if you feel crappy in your physical body, that's the last stage of the illness. That's why, Western shit care is nothing but mechanics compared to the energy healing side. Sorry, it's the truth. And that's why they went about the chemical side, because they are into treating, not into actually helping people heal for real. Because money is in treating, not in curing. They actually teach this in their shit medical schools. So, learn to tap on your karate chop point and start noticing the changes in your life. and you can use it with this as well. Or if you have an exam and you can't focus, tap. It's proven that even 12, 15 minutes every day for 8 weeks produce lasting neurological changes in your brain. And Dr. Dawson Church just came out with a brand new book. I just got the download yesterday. I pre-purchased it and it came. And it's really valuable research he showed. So if you're into the research stuff, because he is exactly that, he's not a healer. Like he's not someone who would channel energy. You know, he didn't know that energy has a sound, or he faked he didn't know, but when we were talking to him. So, you know, we don't know everything, nobody does. And what he has different than a lot of people I met in my life, especially a lot of people at his level of, you know, notoriety and accessibility to universities and, you know, certain kind of people. He's very humble as a person, and he does want to help, and he's really open to listening. He really treats people like people. He's not one of those people who, you know, oh yeah, I'm nice to everybody in words, and then in reality is not. Like, he is. And sure, you know, people can get along with someone or not. I don't care. I don't know of anything, so I'm just saying it in general. But as a person, I think he's one of the most helpful out there, and one of those people who really shares, you know, even with people who don't really support him. So I really like how he conducts his research, and is very left brain in those things. However, he's also really in tune, because he's a Scorpio, and so he's really he channels really well. So I think the only reason why he was just not, you know, in the field of just like energy healing, because it didn't make sense, I think. And that's why it's the same thing for me. It just didn't make sense to my left brain. And so for a long time, I just denied, even really, you know, I would hide it from people, literally. So it's very common, I think. We all do it, you know, more or less consciously. For me, it was very conscious. I realized I was doing it. I did it on purpose, because I didn't want to have the pain in the ass to deal with having to explain myself and what I was feeling, and then having to hear that, oh, I was weird. No, I'm not weird. You are fucking weird. You, the people who don't feel shit, are weird to me. You see, it's how you look at things. And for me, like, you know, when I found other people who were saying, oh, you hear energy too, you know, it's like, yeah, right on. I wasn't looking to be different, ever. I was looking to be like everybody else. So you are not treated like a weirdo. That's what I was looking for. Because when you are a weirdo, it's not really easy, especially if you're someone like me, who this I got from my mom. We are fine. We don't need to stand out. We're people who are very relaxed. We don't have those huge noses, you know, that people with a lot of wanting to achieve this and that have. We are usually pretty chill. I read this somewhere, and I started to notice it, and it's true. The bigger the fucking nose, the bigger the ego. It's hilarious. It's like some people. It's not always true, but I've noticed that the more they want, the more they. It's like, what the fuck? Me, I don't care. I don't really need all of that. For me, it's always about me. It's always about what I want to do, to get better, basically. It's a learning thing. The competition with others, it's just so toxic. I don't even know why people fall for that bullshit. It's just really toxic. That's such propaganda bullshit, and I never bought into that. It actually really bothered me, and when I did try it, I just didn't feel good, and I was like, nah, it's not for me, man. See you. Because you gotta sometimes try things to figure out if they're not for you. Like drugs, I knew right away. Just see the effect on people, and I already had enough with the migraines from pain. I didn't need to have hangovers that felt like that or worse, so fuck that. I'm not doing that to myself. But I did try to get drunk once, it's like, well, more than once, but I knew how to handle it most of the times after. I made mistakes once usually, and then I learned, let's put it that way. So use the tapping for picking the cards, and you will notice that you start picking things that are more in tune with what you need at the moment. And also, when you do the exercise, you can say, and from this moment on, you can go around the tapping points if you want to. Like, this is really why it was on camera. I just wanted to show you this. You go around the tapping points in this way, and you can stay on the same tapping points. Like, you can go on two at the same time if you like. Be creative. Usually you want to maintain that same flow from top to bottom, one direction, or if you go bottom to top sometimes, that's also required. And on the thumbs and stuff, on the fingers, just go on both sides gently on the side of your nails, on all fingers. So you don't have to remember which side the point is on, it doesn't really matter, just go on both. That's the dumb way of doing it, which is dumb proof, as I call it. The 9 gamut is not on those pictures, I have to still do that. It's right here between the pinky and the ring finger. It's the meaty part right here. And so probably a couple of fingers or 3 would go in there. A lot of times if you're really stressed out, I personally have used this a lot. I put 2 fingers there and I reach with the other 2 on my karate chop point, and so, which is now called side of the hand for whatever bloody reason. I like karate chop because you know where it is. It's there. Everybody knows. Anyway, so I go like that, and even touching is enough. You don't have to tap, especially if you're a rape victim or, some people, the tapping really is bothersome. You can just literally put your hands there. You can even do this if it works better. Find your own position. A lot of times also I do this and I just stay there, and this will get the energy flow, and then your mind will focus. But first, you always want to ground yourself. This is the most powerful point to start with, because grounding is at the very core of channeling energy correctly. If you don't ground, you will have the energy bouncing around inside of you, especially if you don't have good energy. If you have not good energy, but if it's like, out of sync. Good energy is energy that makes you feel good, at peace, blissful, healthy, full of energy, but in a good way. That nervous energy, you know what I mean, because everybody has experienced it. That stuff, if you're not grounding, it's not very comfortable. It's like having these toxins, bouncing around your body and not getting flushed out. You don't like that. So, if you've ever been clogged, my uncle, yes, before he went raw vegan, worst farts ever. You would die. It was like a gas chamber, and we would laugh about it a lot. But then he went raw vegan, all gone. Oh, magic, when you eat correctly. And he was, now I'm thinking about him farting, oh God. Because farting is a big joke thing in my family, always, because of all these incidents. And then when people say, oh, blame the dog, yeah, what do you think he would do all the time, and he wasn't alone. Me, I'll just come out. Mine were silent when they were deadly, in church usually, and I was a kid. And then my mom would be blamed for it. Sorry, Mom. I'm still laughing about it. I forgot my train of thought now. What's new? Seriously, and let me tap. That usually helps. Also, if you tap when you give speeches, you can also just touch there, basically, and it'll ground you. But grounding is very important. Otherwise, it'll go around and you'll feel so uncomfortable. And it's pointless to go through that. It's, also when you ground, you don't pick up anybody's crap, which is very important, let me tell you. Otherwise, you start feeling their pain in your body, and it can be quite uncomfortable. And it takes away your energy, and there's no point in putting yourself through it. Again, if you have to go through that, you will. Nobody can stop you from having your own experiences. I am just sharing because I went through that many years, and eventually, ding, ding, ding. Also, if you ask for help, your spirit guides, if you work with, any kind of stones, it will truly allow you to feel better and not hang on to any of this garbage that is not even yours to begin with. And it is garbage because it's energy that needs to be recycled. So when you ground, you're allowing the earth to take it in and recycle it in the way it's meant to. It's the same thing when you send energy to someone else, especially if you haven't had a chance to ask them for permission. You ask them for permission energetically, and you can say, I'm sending this to you, however, if you don't want it, it can go back and be recycled or reach those who need it. And so you always give the chance, because you cannot impose this stuff on others. And you can use wands like this and just pass them around yourself, literally, and you will feel the energy change is unbelievable. And this is, what I always will tell people. This stone is amazing. Get some selenite, it's not expensive. These things are when I got this was like 10-15 bucks Canadian. Yes, it was years ago, but still, I'm sure they're not super expensive. And they're amazing. And then, if you have the rose of the desert, is also selenite, is the same stone as this guy. This is perfect for when you're trying to change habits. So, especially wearing green. So a lot of times when I use the tuning fork for healing DNA 528 hertz, this is so valuable, like 30 bucks, completely worth it. I put it on top, and I'm not really showing that. I'm putting it on top like that, like I hold it like this, and when you strike it and vibrate, it vibrates to this and it gets amplified, and it just goes right into you, because we have crystals inside of our body. This is actual science. So if you're interested in this kind of science, go check out Dr. Dawson's Church's website, and there are others who show this to you. But I think he's one of the most thorough, and that's why I like to refer people who want the science there. I don't waste my time with this because it's not my job to convince you and show you. My job is just to bring this to you in a way that you can easily go find the science, you can easily find the proof, and also find the correct way of applying this stuff, because that's the trick in all of this stuff. It's applying it correctly. My mother is completely against the tarot. She does not support anything I do in terms of tarot, and she actually, has told me the church says that we don't have to, be around this and right? So I am her daughter, and obviously she still keeps me close to her, but you can understand how bothersome that can be for someone who knows this stuff is not. I use tarot, I use oracle cards, I use angel cards, I use all kinds of stuff, and it's everything but to do with negative energy. And yet, she fights it, and she doesn't really look into it because she's being so heavily brainwashed by their bullshit. So that's why I say, I prefer being open-minded about things, and I know right from wrong, so I don't see why these people trust bullshit told to them by others instead of their actual instinct. Because if they actually look at what this is all about and what the messages are that they come through, they wouldn't even try to deny the fact that it is provable that it works, because there is consistent positive outcome from it, and enough precision as well, which is astonishing. to me anyway, many times. And also, it's not to control others, it's quite the opposite, it's to empower. So how can you deny that what you're saying is a lie, basically, just to control you? Because when you're scared of this, you're not going to use it as a tool, and you are going to be the limited one. You know? It's the same thing as trust in the rotating fake globe, and instead of trusting in your actual senses, that if you look, there is no curve. If you feel, there is no bloody movement. And trust me, if we were moving at that speed, spinning around, the water would not stick to the earth. Because if we have that kind of force of gravity that can hold water, how come it cannot hold what? It cannot hold our hands now? How can I even do this if there is such force of gravity? Oh, right, it's picky on what it uses for. It's such bullshit. Like, think about it. Think about it for me. Step out of the box. You know, step out of the box of his story. Break down the words, people. His story. Literally, that's what it is. It's a bunch of fucking lies. And you wasted tons of times learning that shit in school, so I would be pissed if I were you. You know? Me, I have to say, I studied that stuff and I forgot it. So everything, I was like, and now I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, obviously my brain was selective and knew somehow that was a bunch of bullshit. So, no, it's also because I look at more the mechanics of things, and that's where my focus always has been. But that's another story. I do wish I had the brain to remember absolutely everything, but then again, where's the fun in it? Then I wouldn't need any of you, right? And we're all here to learn together. So that's why we don't all have everything, and that's why we all need to work together. But that's a whole nother story. Yeah, I keep moving my hands. That's me. But that's it. So pick your pile if you haven't yet, and use your heart center when you do it. Center yourselves. Take the time to center yourselves, because it does pay off. In whatever you do, like Dawson says, in the morning it's the first thing he does, and that's correct. It's the last thing he does before he goes to sleep, because I've tried. I mean, try it. Go to sleep watching TV. Good luck having a good sleep, by the way. And you're gonna be brainwashed as well. Go to sleep listening to something relaxing that actually opens your intuition and allows you to relax and all that, and see how you feel in the morning. And when you wake up, the first thing you do in the morning is some centering, even if it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The Eco-Meditation is not even a half an hour, okay? But even if you did 15 minutes in the morning, you know, even 5 minutes is better than nothing. But that will allow you to just, you know, do something that is gonna put you in a position to just look at the positive energy, and that's it. You're gonna tune into that a lot more than the crap negative energy. Because when you wake up, have you ever woken up in the morning and you're like already pissed off for no reason? You just wake up and you're like, I am so mad right now. Yeah, it happens when you have a bad dream or you watch shit the night before that is violent, and then boom, it happens. So don't do that. And you know, it's not that hard to change those habits, because instead of saying I'll do half an hour, just start by saying I'll do 5 minutes, and then I'll increase it to 10 and 15, and eventually you will seek that time for yourself. Because just like every day, if at 2 you tune into and you take an hour and a half and you do different meditations, you actually are taking time for yourself. You're letting your body heal itself because you're relaxing. And that's when the body heals itself. That's when your brain has time to put together all this stuff, your unconscious and your conscious, and work things out. You know, you're allowing yourself that time to actually expand with all the things you've absorbed all along. And it's important. That's why artists are the way they are, is because when you do art, when you do music, you are in the same headspace as when we do these kind of things. It's all very linked together. It's one of the reasons why personally I use tarot. I don't need to use tarot. If you ask me a question and I connect I will tell you, and I will see things. I've always been this way. I was giving Reiki to people, and I would see these things, and it was like flashes of things. It was, whoa, you know? You literally feel the energy, you hear it. It's insane what the things you go through, and you think you're hallucinating, but you're not. So, you know, this stuff is, for me, is because I just truly enjoy the drawings. I enjoy moving things and touching them, and you know, there's a whole other thing. I mean, I'm here to touch, to feel. Otherwise, what's the point of having a freaking body, honestly? I'd rather than be in my spirit and fly around. Thank you very much. It's a lot easier, let me tell you. You know, I'm sure a lot of you know that. But it's not the same thing as, you know, feeling things and touching them, and there is a certain pleasure to it, and I like it. You know, it's just so fun. So I think everybody who is interested in this stuff, just get a tarot deck and start going for it. It's so much fun to use them, and anybody can do it. So, you know, do it. Damn it. I'll keep doing this otherwise. Anyway, I'm gonna take myself off camera because I'm far too old and midget-like. I have nothing against midgets. I love gnomes, actually. In fact, you do know that already anyway, because
meditation to release what no longer serves me.
Hold on.
And what I really
is this thing
wish
going
to attract.
Because you're out of here. No, not that one. That one was the funny meme. Here, the gnomes. I make those, and then I'm gonna make some drawings out of that stuff. But yeah, they're my funny gnomes. There. That's a good place for gnomes. Just to, you know, clog the screen a little more, you know, because we don't have enough crap everywhere. Here, I'll put it away. All right. Ooh! The meme came up. All right, so anyway, that's the pick-a pile. 1, 2, 3.